Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video I want to show you how to create an online food ordering website in WordPress. So essentially your customer can place an order directly on your website and the order will be pushed through to a smartphone or a tablet in your store, and then you can either accept or reject the order. You can also set the time for when it's ready, so then your customer can either pick it up or you can deliver it to them. So I'm going to be showing you step by step how to do it. It's going to be really amazing, so we're going to jump straight into the computer. Alright, so I'm back behind the computer now and I'm so excited to show you guys because I personally think this is going to help so many local businesses out. Or even if you are like a freelancer web developer, I think you can take the skills that you learned in this video and apply it today. Like you go out to a restaurant or a cafe or any food business and set this up for them for a fee. So if it was me, like I would definitely pick this over like dropshipping or e-commerce because you don't have to invest anything. Right, so anyways, this is like really amazing. So I'm going to show you exactly how it all works, right? So this is the website that we're going to be actually creating. Now you can create any website that you want. Everything's going to be drag and drop, but the most important feature is the ordering feature, right? So if your customer comes onto your website, they can also view it on mobile devices or their tablet. So here you can add in all your menu items and it'll be displayed. So let's say, for example, they are ready to place a takeaway order, and they can click into the item, view the item, and they can also add in any special instructions, right? You can also set in like vegetarian or whatever it is, and then they can also select the quantity, add that to cart, and let's say, for example, they click on fried wontons. So you can set different sizes for different items. So for example, if you have a 10-piece version of it, then you can also set that in and click on add to cart. So it's really customizable. So for example, fried rice, you can also add additional toppings. So let's say if you're selling like pizza or something like that and they want to add prawns or chicken, then you can set in whatever it is and add the dollar amount like that. Okay. They can also choose the spice level, and you can also add in additional sort of conditions, whatever it is that you need. It's really customizable, and it's something that I use for my dad's restaurant. So I know exactly what restaurants need. So here, let's just say hot and then add that to cart. All right. Then once they're ready to place an order, maybe let's just add a roti, right? So you can also add like dipping sauce as well. Okay, add that in. And then they can also click on the information here, which shows your delivery zones. So if you do delivery, then you can set in specific zones, each with a specific minimum order amount, and also a specific like fee that you charge, right? So for the orange section, right, the minimum is $25 and with a fee of $3. For the shape that you draw in here, so you can set in specific shapes or you can do like a radius. Now the shape is 30 minimum and the fee is 5. So this is all up to you. And then this is just some basic restaurant information here, right? So you can use this sort of website for any type of food ordering, like groceries, milk bar. You might be selling like fish, you might be a butcher. I think it's so important like these days, especially to have your own platform, right? Now, your customers can also put in their contact detail and they can click on here to add in the different ordering methods. So it could be like pickup or delivery or a table reservation, and they can click on save. Okay. And they can also order for now, or maybe they want to order for dinner, then they can do that as well. So even if your shop is not open, then they can also come to your website and place an order for later. So this is really amazing. Let's just say, for example, tomorrow, and they can set it for maybe dinner time. So 6:30, click on save. And here for the payment method, so click on this and they can pay by cash once you've actually delivered the goods. If they're coming in store, then it's up to whatever payment options you have, for example, cash and card. Now, if you want to accept online payment, which I personally have done, then you do need to pay $29 a month. So this is how the platform actually makes money. So it's completely free if you want to accept cash, but if you do want to add card and online payment, then it's $29 a month, right? So I personally highly recommend it because then the customer can just pay online and that's all confirmed. So once they come, they can just pick it up and go, right? So they don't have to like, they don't have to come in and then pay and then, stuff like that. Everything is like super efficient like this. So it's completely up to you, but if you just want to get started with cash, that's fine. And they can also add additional comments. And then once they're ready, then they can place an order. Okay, so they're placing an order, and that's going to be redirected onto your iPad or your tablet or your smartphone in the restaurant. So I'll show you how to set this up. Now, it didn't make a notification sound because it's actually connected to my computer. So you can click into the order, right? And you can look at the order and see if there's any like crazy sort of thing they're requesting. And because sometimes they do, then you can actually reject the order. But most of the time you can just click on accept, right? And then you can accept the time as well, all right? And what's that gonna do is within a few seconds, it's going to confirm the order in real time for your customer, right? So within like 5 seconds, your customer is gonna get a real-time confirmation, which I think is really, really important because some other services, like if you know WordPress and WooCommerce and things like that, a lot of the plugins send the notification to the email, and that's not good because you can't sort of accept the order or reject the order. So with this one, it's all real time and it's really amazing. So let's close that. And let's say they want to make a table reservation. So let's click on that. So you can also set the number of people. So this one I've limited to 8 people. So let's just say 5. The date, they can set it to today and maybe for dinner. All right. And then click on next. And then they can check it, place the order. And over here, okay, then you'll see the notification. Click into that and you can see number of persons, accept and confirm, and that is done. So what I forgot to mention is that it actually allows you to print as well. So that really helps with your workflow. So once the order is accepted, then on the bottom here, then you can click on this and you can print it out. Right, so setting up a printer is really simple. So you can just go to thermal printer, right? So here you need to click on next, and then you can connect it to your Bluetooth printer or your network and Wi-Fi. So essentially for us, what we've done is we've connected the printer to the sort of Wi-Fi network, Wi-Fi modem, and then we just select the Wi-Fi, and then that's all connected. And once we click on print, it's going to print out the order docket into the kitchen, and then the kitchen can start cooking. So it's really, really efficient. You don't have to like retype out your order or anything like that. And it saves a ton of time. I'm also going to show you how to build this complete website as well, so that your customers can come on your website. They can view like your gallery, your hours, any type of information as well. So it's actually really easy to create a website these days if you haven't created one before. Everything is drag and drop. So for example, we can click in the text module over here and let's just say your food business, right? And you can also zoom out, so we can move things around. Everything's drag and drop. So okay, so let's just move the image over across here and maybe move the text, move the heading, and move this little divider line and squeeze it in there, right? I'll also show you how to display your menu like this with a button. So there's some people might want to download a menu PDF and just like stick it on their fridge or something like that. You can do that as well. Add in a gallery. And also you can add in a video background to showcase your restaurant, as well as adding in a contact form, right? So it's super, super amazing. And basically that is it. So if you're ready, then I'm ready. I'm gonna go through exactly what you need to get started. So to create a website, we'll be doing in just 5 simple steps. So the first step is to get a domain name. Now a domain name is essentially just your website's address. So for example, google.com. Your one will be your business or your foodorderingbusiness.com, and that will cost you around $15 every year. The second thing you'll need is hosting. So hosting is basically a computer that's on 24/7 where you store your website's files, for example, the text and the content. So when people go to your website, then basically the content will be hosted on the hosting account so that people can access the content and navigate your website and things like that. So the third thing is to install WordPress. So WordPress is essentially a content management system, and basically that allows anyone to create a website without learning how to code. The fourth thing is I'll show you how to build your website, and that will be free, of course. And then I'll show you how to connect it with Gloriafood. So Gloriafood is a zero commission free online food system that we're going to sync together, and I'll show you how to connect it to an app on your phone or on your tablet so that everything syncs together. And it's essentially the same thing that I use for my dad's business, and it's really, really awesome. So to get started, it will be like less than $100, which I think is really, really awesome, since a lot of other services cost over $100 per month. Or if you do third party, then they charge a huge commission. For example, last weekend, Uber Eats charged us $1,000 in commissions already. So I think having your own platform is just really, really amazing and something that every business needs moving forward, especially right now in the current times. So we're going to get started by clicking on the link down below, and that's going to take you to Siteground, and that's where we're going to get our domain and hosting together. So by clicking the link down below, that is a discount affiliate link, and what that means is that if you purchase through the link, then I may get a commission for that sale, and that essentially just helps me to create free tutorials for you guys. Now, essentially why I recommend Siteground over other web hosts is because of 3 factors. So the first factor is you can easily choose your country-specific domain name. So for example, let's say if you are a local business in Australia, you can choose .com.au. If you're in UK, you can choose .co.uk. Then the second thing is that you can actually choose your hosting server location. So for example, if you're in Australia, then you can choose your website to be hosted in Australia. So that makes your website load a lot quicker for your local audience. And the third reason is because of the performance and speed. So when you're actually building a website, everything's just a lot quicker. Like all the builder and all the functions work a lot faster, right? So right now I'm actually on the Australian version of the website. So you can select the region down here. And basically you might see your price to be a little bit different. If you're in the United States, then it should be like $3.95 and $5.95, I'm pretty sure. So as you can see, this is just in the Australian currency. Okay, so there's 3 different plans that you can choose from: the startup plan, the grow big plan, or the go geek. Now the main difference is that for the startup plan, it's only good for one website. So you can only host your website.com. For the grow big, you can host unlimited websites. So you could do like your friend's website, your client's website, all hosted under one account. So that's going to save you a lot of money. For the Go Geek, you can do unlimited websites, but it's probably a little bit too much for what you need unless you are planning to start a web agency or something like that. But you can actually just upgrade within the dashboard, which I'll show you a little bit later on. So what I do recommend for most people is probably the starter plan. If you want to make unlimited websites, then get the Grow Big. You also get additional features as well, which you can check out. So I'm just going to click on Get Plan. Okay, so here you want to enter your domain name. So for example, mine might be just food ordering demo. And here you can choose your extension. So for example, .com.au, or you could choose like just .com or .co.in, really up to you. So I'm just going to choose the .com extension. So click that and then click on proceed. Okay, so if your domain is available, then you'll be redirected here. If it's not, you might need to be a little bit more creative. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to fill in your details, for example, your email and your password, as well as all your client information and payment information. So I'm going to quickly do that. Okay, so for the data center, you'll need to select one which is closest to your main audience. So for example, if I'm a local business in Australia, I would just choose Australia. If you are in Singapore or near Singapore, then go with Singapore. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on Australia. And here for the period, so what I do recommend is choosing 12 months or more. So that way you can actually lock in the discount. Okay, so you can choose 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. That's up to you, but I've already got a few accounts with Siteground, so I'm just gonna choose the 1 month trial. And here for your domain registration, that will be automatically ticked. What I do suggest is domain privacy. So for example, domain privacy is gonna hide your information, like for example, like your name and also your email address to prevent people from like spamming you. Okay, so I do recommend it. I mean, it's not necessary, but highly recommended. So I'm gonna scroll down over here. Okay, so I'm gonna select this, and for this one, I'm just gonna leave it as empty, and then I'm gonna click on Pay Now. Okay, so your account has successfully created. I'm gonna click on Proceed to Customer Area. Okay, so you should be redirected over here, and you can click on the services. So whenever you do want to upgrade your plan, then you can upgrade here. Okay, so we're gonna click on websites up here. And here we can click on complete. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on skip and create empty site and click on finish. Okay, so once you've done that, then what you need to do is just go to websites again, and over here, click on site tools, And then on the left here, click on WordPress, install and manage. Okay, so as you can see, there's no installation yet. So what you can do is click on select for WordPress. And what you want to do is scroll down over here and leave everything as default. And you want to deselect the install with WordPress starter. You don't want that. And for the username, so this is the username that you're going to log into your WordPress dashboard. So I'm just going to do maybe Hogan Shua. Set in my password. Okay, and then put in my email. And then scroll down and then just click on install. Okay, so that basically has installed WordPress onto our domain name. So what we can do is we can click on admin panel, right, to take you to the login page, or you can click here to log in as well. So let's just click here, right, and that's going to essentially log you in automatically. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go back to your Gmail account that you signed up with, and you want to click on the verification required. So just click into that and scroll down. Okay, so we just want to approve that, and we want to verify our domain name and things like that. So that's going to take a minute. Okay, so let's just scroll down, just verify that information. And then that should be done. Let's just go back over here. Okay, so we also want to set your domain data use consent preferences. So just click into that one, scroll down and set data use, and then scroll down again. So here consent is optional. So what I want to do is I just want to click on save consent. Okay, so basically we haven't allowed that consent. So what we can do is go back to your WordPress dashboard. All right, so your WordPress dashboard is essentially sort of like the back end of your website that only you can see. So if we go to the front end of our website, so we can click over here on the left. So this is what our website looks like now, and it doesn't look like anything that I've showed you in the demo, but don't worry, we're going to transform it in a second. So let's just go back to our dashboard area. All right, so what we want to do is we want to clean up our dashboard a little bit and configure some of the basic WordPress settings. So what we can do is just click on dismiss, and we can also hide these ones. It does make it a little bit messy, so I want to hide everything like that. So what we're going to do first is we want to make sure that our website shows secure. So right now it says not secure, and this is very, very important because once your customer arrives on your website and it says that, then they're not going to trust your website. So if, for example, Google, they have this lock icon, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So go back over here, and what you want to do is hover over plugins and then click on add new. So what we're going to do is add a plugin to our website, and plugins are essentially applications that we can add onto our website to add extra functionality. So for example, by default, if you have an iPhone, then it doesn't get many functions, but you can download a lot of different apps that add extra functionality. For example, like productivity. For example, if you want to test your phone speed, you can download an app for that, or like social media and dating apps and things like that. So what we could do is here, type in really simple SSL, all right, and then hit on enter. And then what you want to do is click on install now. So this one over here with 4 million active installs. So click on that. And then click on activate. All right, so before we go ahead and activate SSL, we need to log in again. So make sure you know your password, otherwise that's gonna log you out and you can't log back in. All right, so jot down your password and click on go ahead and activate SSL. All right, so I want to show you how to actually log into your WordPress dashboard without logging into your Siteground account. So what you'll need to do is just type in, your domain name.com, and then here we'll just delete all this for now. Okay, and what you need to do is type in wp-admin. Okay, and that's going to take you to your login page over here. Right, so what I suggest is just bookmarking this page. So whenever you want to edit your website, you need to log in, and so just bookmark the page, and then anytime you want to get back to your website, then just click it. Okay, so here just enter your username and also your password that you set in before, and then just log in. All right, so what I want to show you now is click on the pages. All right, so we're going to add some pages. So what I'm going to do is just delete these pages. Right, so move that to trash and click on apply, and then click on trash again, select all, and then delete permanently and apply. So click on add new. All right, so I'm just going to close that. And over here, we want to type in home. Okay, so we're going to create a home page. So click on publish and publish again. All right, so that page should be active. So if we click on that, then that is going to take us to our home page, right? So what we need to do is, because we're creating a one-page website, then we're just going to create one page, right? So if you do ever want to create more pages, then you can go back to your dashboard area and then go to pages. You can click on all pages to view all your pages, and then you can click over here to add new, and you can create your about page or like services page, blog page, whatever page that you want over here. All right, so since we've got that page now, what I want to show you is how to add in a theme. So as you can see right now, our website doesn't look anything like we showed you in the demo. So we need to add a theme. So what you can do is, below this video, there's a download link for the theme. So download that onto your computer, okay? And it should look something like this, themify-ultra.zip. Now, sometimes if you're using like Safari, it might automatically unzip into a folder. What you'll need to do is just right click the folder and compress it back into the zip file. Okay, so go back over here and hover over appearance, click on themes, and then we're going to click on add new. Right, so there are literally thousands of different themes, each with this different appearance. So I personally recommend the Themify theme because you can literally create any website and adjust it to anything that you want. And everything is just connected, like for example, the theme and the builder. So that way you don't have to download a bunch of different plugins and things like that. So click on upload theme, choose file. Okay, so upload themify-ultra.zip, click on open, and click on install now. So sometimes you might have some error here where it says that the file that you're uploading is exceeding the upload limit. Now, generally what you need to do is contact your web host, because your web host has limited how much you can actually upload. So this normally happens if you're using a cheap host or a free host or things like that, which isn't good to begin with. But if you're using Siteground, then you shouldn't have any issues. So click on activate to activate the theme. So here they have a bunch of skins and demos which you can import directly onto your website, but I don't really recommend that. I'm going to be showing you how to build it from scratch, which is really, really easy, and it's going to be fun anyway. So we're going to click on close up here. Okay, and I'm just going to close these ones as well. So now that we've installed our theme, we can hover over here and click on visit site. So as you can see, that changes the appearance of our website. So the first thing that you'll need to do is, if we actually hover over here and click on our homepage, you'll notice that it says the domain name.com/home. So we want to make sure that this homepage will actually just be our domain.com. All right, so what we need to do first is click on customize, and then click on back, and then click on homepage settings, and then set a static page. Okay, so for our homepage, we want to select home, and then click on publish and close. So essentially, if we click on our homepage, that's going to be just redirected to our domain.com, which is exactly what we want. So what we're going to do first is to configure the basic sort of layout of our pages, and also the header section and also the footer section. So to do that, we can go back to our dashboard and hover over Themify Ultra, click on Themify settings. Okay, scroll down over here. So generally what I like to do is I like to open my website in a new tab so I can see what I'm doing visually. So let's just click over here and click back. And here we can click on default layouts, and we can click on default page layout. All right, so here what we want to do is we want to remove the sidebar. Okay, so we want to click on no sidebar, and we want to hide the title on the pages. So if we go over here, we want to hide the title and also the sidebar section. So once you've done that, we also want to remove the comments, and then over here, click on save. So if we go back to our homepage here and refresh, then that should be good to go. So we have a blank canvas to work with. Now I'll show you how to configure the top section and the bottom section. So go back to Themify settings, click on the theme settings, and click on theme appearance. scroll down to the header design. So generally what I recommend is sticking with this one over here, header top bar. This is my favorite. It's nice and simple and really easy for your customers to navigate. So click on that, but you do have other options here which you can explore later on. Scroll down over here. We want to exclude the site tagline and also the search form. Okay, and maybe we'll just leave that as is. And then what we could do is, let's go back here. So that's the tagline and this is the search. Okay, so we can click on save. And then if we go back here and refresh, then that will be gone. Okay, so it's nice and simple. So for your footer section, we can go back here, scroll down to footer design. So you can choose from different footer designs as well as no footer. So I'm going to choose just the first one over here. Okay, and I also want to remove the site logo and also powered by WordPress. So go back over here, so exclude site logo, and you can scroll down over here to the bottom to footer text, and we want to remove footer text too. Select that and click on save. Now if we refresh our page, then we'll be good to go, right? So now I want to show you how to add in your social media on the bottom of your page here. So let's go back here again, click on social links. Okay, so here is where we'll need to put in our links. So I'm just going to pause the video and get my links. So what we need to do is just go to, let's say, your Twitter profile URL, just copy that and paste that in. Same for your Facebook, so copy over your Facebook profile URL, paste that in. Same with YouTube, so you can paste in your channel URL. And let's say you don't have Pinterest, but you've got Instagram, so you can just change that to Instagram, right? And I'm just going to paste in this and just change it manually, Instagram, okay? And for the icon, we want to change that to the Instagram icon. Just click on insert icon, and over here, just type in Instagram, okay? And select it. And then you can also add additional links as well if you've got additional social media links, right? So we can just click on save on the bottom here. And then to display that, right now, if we refresh that page, it's not going to display, okay? So we want to go to appearance and click on widgets. All right, so here on the left, we want to scroll down to the Themify social links. So click it and scroll back up and drag it below footer social widget. Okay, so widgets are essentially different areas on your website where you can drag the widgets and then basically it will show. So here I want to select open link in a new tab, okay, a new window, and click on save. So if we refresh our page, then our social links is going to appear. Okay, so right now we can click on turn on builder. So now I'm going to show you how to build out your website really easily. So you can click this module tab and just drag it and put it against there, and that's going to pop out. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this hero section. So this is the first thing that your customer will see. So this is really important. So what we need to do, first of all, turn on your builder, and if you actually hover over here, you'll see the purple line. Okay. So once you hover over the purple line, click on the styling tab, okay, and then click on background, and then here for the background type we're going to set in an image, but you can select gradient, video, and slider as well, but I do recommend an image, right? And then for the background image, click on plus to upload your image, and then all we need to do is select file and upload your hero image. So I've cropped my hero image to about 1920 times 1080 in pixels, and you do want to try and keep it below 500 kilobytes, otherwise your website's going to load really slowly. Okay, so click on insert file URL, and as you can see the image is not stretched, so what we want to do is we want to select full cover. Okay, so that's the first thing that you want to do, and then what we want to do is we can, let's click on done. All right, so here we can drop in a text module, so drop that into there. Okay, so we're just going to type in our heading, so we can type where open, okay, and then we're going to set this to heading 1. Okay, so this is important that you set it to heading 1, and for each page on your website you should only have one heading 1 font, and then for the rest you can use heading 2, heading 3, or 4. Alright, so set it to heading 1, and then what we want to do is we want to click on styling, click on font, and we want to align it into the center, just like that. Alright, and then we're going to change the color to white so we can see that text a little bit better. So now what we want to do is we want to click on done here. Alright, so we want to stretch the image a little bit. So hover over here until you see the purple, and you can just drag it down like that to sort of stretch it. Okay, so you can stretch it just like that, and the same thing over here. Okay, stretch it over there, and that adds something called padding, right? So it's just like spacing. So what you do want to do is you want to try and keep it even. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's 193 now, so I'm just going to drag it to about 200 pixels. And same thing for the bottom, just like keep it like 200. Alright, it's very, very small, so you probably only can see it on your screen, or you can go to styling here and click on padding and adjust the padding here as well. Right, so once you've done that, then as you can see, you can't really see the text properly because the image, it's like not dark enough, right? So we want to make the text to pop a little bit. So what we can do is click on row styling again, click on the row overlay, okay, and set in a black overlay. Okay, then what we want to do on the right here is drop the opacity, so basically like the transparency, let's drop it to about maybe 0.1, or let's say 0.2, something like that. It makes the text pop a little bit better, and that way your customers can see what you've written here. So you can also click on the text to make it a shadow as well. So click on the text, click on styling, click on font. Okay, scroll down to the text shadow. So you can set one here and one here, and blur, let's just do like maybe 5. And then we're going to set the color to black. Okay, and I think that is pretty good. Alright, so what we can do is just leave that as is and click on done. Okay, so what we're going to focus on now is just to make sure that we have in our text and sort of build out the structure of our website first. Right, so don't worry too much about the design and the layout and things like that. We just want the basic structure first. So what we want to do now is add in a subheadline. Okay, just like that. And here, I'm just going to copy over the text here. So order direct on our website and save 10%. Okay, so I'm just going to paste over the text, just like that. Okay, and we can go to styling again, font. Let's align it into the center. Change the text color to white so we can see that. And for the font size, let's try and make it a little bit bigger. So maybe something like, maybe not 18, let's just try 20. Okay, so 20 is not too bad. Okay, so click on done. And then what we're going to do is drop in a button. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to drop in a button just below that. Then we can align it into the center. And then here we can choose the size. I think that size is pretty decent. And what we could do is we can edit the text button. So like something like order now. I'm actually going to show you how to add in a different button, which is the Gloriafood, and that connects it to that. I'm just going to show you this just as an example. So just in case you want to add in some other button. So here you can link it to any link that's on your website or an external link if you want to. You can also change the color here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to edit the styling later, so don't worry too much about that right now. Just click on done, and then we're going to click on save. Alright, and you can actually preview that by clicking here. Okay, so this is what it actually looks like. So what we want to do is we want to make it full width, so go all the way across from the left to the right, and also minimize that spacing on the top. So what we can do is deselect the preview, and what we want to do is click on back end. Okay, that's going to take you to the back of that page. Alright, and then we're going to scroll down to the Themify custom panel, content width, click on full width, and then we can click on update. Okay, so once that is updated, we can go and scroll back up here, click here, and then we can click on the link, and then you'll see that is fixed, right? So you can also make that a transparent header if you do want to, right? So what you can do to make that a transparent header, you don't have to, but I'm going to show you anyway. So you can click on edit page. And again, we're back here to themify custom panel, page appearance, click on header, scroll down to transparent header, okay? And then click on update. And over here, click here again and click on the link. Okay, so now we have a transparent header, so that's looking very nice. What I'm going to show you now is how to edit your logo here. Okay, so you can click on customize, and that's going to take you directly to themify options. So click on site logo and tagline, click on site logo, and for your logo, right now I'm not going to show you how to make a logo, so I'll show you where you can get a logo for $5 a little bit later. But here, let's just type in logo, just like that. All right, so if you do have a logo, then you can click on the logo image and upload your logo. It should be a PNG file, okay? And then you can set the sizing here, all right? But I'm just gonna set in the site title for now and keep it nice and simple for you guys for at the moment. You can just put in your business name. So if your business is like, you know, like Hogan's Kitchen or something like that, you set that in first, okay? So we're just gonna keep it nice and simple. You can also change the color here as well as the sizing, okay? Let's click on publish. So since we're here already, then I wanna show you quickly how to edit your heading 1 font, right? Because it might be a little bit too small right now. So we can click on headings here and click on heading 1. And then here we can set the size. So for example, we can set it to 95. Okay, and then here we can set the font. So I personally like this one, Arial, and you can set it to any font that you want, but you have to keep in mind each font has a different personality. And I do recommend if you choose, for example, Arial, then the rest of your heading 2, 3, and 4, they should be the same font as well. So ensuring that everything is consistent on your website. And your, let's say your body font, you can also change it over here. Okay, click on body font and change it. And I do recommend keeping it to something that's simple and nice and something that everyone can read. So let's click on over here. And what you're going to notice is the spacing here has changed. So I'll show you how to fix that. But we can go over here to the main navigation. All right, menu link. And over here, we want to change the link color to maybe, let's say, a white color, like that. Okay, so don't change the background color because that's going to change the background, something like that, and that's not good. Okay, so delete that and change just the font color here. That's the menu link. And also for the menu link hover, this is when you actually hover over that link. So you can change the color to maybe just look like a light gray. Okay, so when someone hovers over that, then they know that is a link. Okay, so that is an easy way to do it. The active link is essentially when you are on the specific page, and then you can set the color. Okay, so don't worry about that yet. So we're going to click on publish and close. All right, so let's quickly fix the spacing over here. So turn on your builder. Okay, so we need to click on the text module to reduce the spacing. So click on that and then select styling. And then instead of padding, what we want to do is click on margin. And for the bottom margin, so we want to decrease this. So we want to select minus and then set in, let's say 40. Okay, and that's going to decrease the margin. So the padding and the margin both essentially do the same thing. But let's just say, for example, we change the padding on the bottom to 100. Then it's going to add the spacing sort of within the box, right? So within the box, it's going to add 100 pixels within the text module box, right? So if we delete that, right? And if we set in here instead the margin, so we put 100 pixels margin, then it's going to move the spacing outside of that blue box, right? So what we're doing when we're minusing the margin is that we're minimizing the box. So we're going below that, so 40, then it's minimizing the box, right? If we, let's say we add 20, then it's inside the box. Or let's do 100, then it's everything inside that box. You see that blue box, it's expanded, right? Okay, so that's the difference. I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but hopefully you guys understand. Let's just click on done and then click on save and then close that. So what I want to show you now is how to set up the WordFood app and then add your order button right here, because I know a lot of people want to get up and running as soon as possible. So we're going to get right into that. So the first thing that you'll need to do is head over to gloriafood.com. So just type in gloriafood.com in your browser and you should arrive on the website that looks something like this. So what you'll need to do is type in your restaurant name or your business name. So for example, I'm just going to do food demo and then click on get access now. All right, and then click on restaurant manager and owner. Okay, so I've already registered this and it should send you an email which looks something like this. Click into it and just click on validate email. And that's just going to verify that. Okay, and then just click on close this window. And then we're going to set up the details. So I'm just going to call it, let's just say Hogan's Kitchen or something like that. And then put in your restaurant number and then fill in the details over here. And then once that is done, just click on next. And then what you need to do is you need to select the exact location of your restaurant using this pin. Okay, let's just say, for example, the restaurant is over here. And then once you've selected that, then only you can click on next. And then here, we've already got our website before, so we can click on yes. And we need to link it to our website URL. So I'm just going to grab the URL, copy it, and paste it into here. And then click on next. So I'm just going to select, let's just say Asian. All right, and then click on next. All right, so just click on next here. And then it's going to ask you, do you offer pickup at your location, which is yes. Click on next. Now, if you do offer delivery, we can select yes, and I'll show you briefly how to set that up. So click on next, and here you can set in your zones, right? So we can have a zone, so zone 1, click on got it, and then you can basically expand it just like that if you want to. So depending on how you want to price your zones, then you can use the radius function, right? And then let's say, for example, minimum is 25 with a delivery fee of $3. You can click on shape. You can add another zone. So you can actually draw a shape if you want to as well. So click on shape, just click it, and then you can click it to wherever you want to draw it, just like that. Let's say here, and then like that. Okay, so for that shape over there, then let's say that minimum is 30, and then that's 5. Click on save. And if you want to do another zone, you can do that. So all around there, make it bigger or something like that. And then you can change it to minimum to be 30, and then the minimum delivery fee is going to be set to 7. Click on save. Right, so that's how you set in a delivery, and click on next. So this is if you accept table reservations. So right now in the current times, in Australia at least, we can't accept table reservations yet, but we can select yes, and I'll show you some of the settings. So click down here and you can select the minimum amount of people. So here for up to, let's say, 10 guests, and table is kept for 15 minutes, keep that as defaults. And I'm just going to click on clear for here. So for the reservation placement, essentially what that means is, let's say someone wants to book for 6:30, then they can't book at 6:20, right? They'll have to book at least 15 minutes in advance. So they'll have to book before 6:15 in order for them to actually make that booking online. So it could be like 30 minutes if you want to. Maybe 30 minutes might be good, because just in case you have a lot of walk-ins and things like that. Here, the reservations can't be placed more than maybe 7 days in advance. Okay, click on next. And order ahead is essentially people can actually order on your website and then they can pay, or maybe they can pay in by cash when they arrive. Basically, it will pre-order and then you can start cooking, and the customer can arrive and then the dish will be ready for them. Okay, so I'm not going to allow that, so I'm going to select no, click on next. And for the opening hours, so this is really flexible, so click on add new, And then here, let's say Monday is closed, and maybe Saturday afternoon is closed as well. Let's just set in the afternoon time, so maybe 11 to 3 p.m. Okay, click on save, and then you can add more. So do the nighttime now. So let's say dinner service starts at 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Okay, something like that, and click on save. Right, so for Tuesday to Friday to Sunday, it's 11 to 3 p.m. So Saturday lunch is essentially closed. And then for Tuesday to Sunday, this is the dinner service time, right? So you can add specific ones as well. And you can also set in specific operating hours for specific services, right? So for example, you might only deliver between 5 to 9 p.m. or something like that. So you can set that in. I'm just going to leave it as default. Click on next. And order for later, I think, is really good, because if your shop is actually closed, then your customers can actually pre-order the takeaway meal. And once your restaurant opens, the notification will be pushed through onto your iPad or your tablet or your phone. And then you can accept the order within 15 minutes. And then if you accept it, then they'll send a confirmation to your customer, and then they can come pick it up at whichever time they specify. So this is really good. So I suggest you put it yes. And here, settings for pickup, you can scroll down here. So it has to be placed. I generally put it at 45 minutes in advance, and 4 days is fine. That's completely up to you. And also same for delivery. Delivery, I would say at least 60 minutes. Okay. And then we're going to click on next. All right. So you can like it, but I'm just going to close it right now. And here, essentially what I've done is, in Australia, I normally just add the menu prices, which include taxes already. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to call it GST. And then for this, I'm going to leave it at 0. Here you can set the currency, and then click on next. And for the payment method, so you can enable cash, which is completely free. And you can also enable card for the delivery or pickup, depending on if you have a FPOS machine at your restaurant or establishment, okay? And you can also call back and take the card details via phone, but I normally don't do that. So here, maybe I'm just gonna select this one and then click on next. And here you wanna put in your official restaurant details. So I'm just gonna fill this in really quickly. Okay, then you can tick that, and then we're going to click on next, and then click on next over here. Okay, so the next step is to install the app on your phone or your tablet. So we're going to click on next, and here you can select it to be your smartphone or tablet. So in this case, I'm going to install it on my iPad. All right, so select that, click on next, and I'm going to put in my email. So you can also send an SMS instead. So it's going to send you a link to your smartphone. So tutorial@gmail.com. Okay, click on next. All right, so now I'm going to log into my Gmail on my iPad. Okay, so just open up your iPad or your smartphone and then log into your Gmail or email account. And then you should be sent an email which says GloriaFood Order Taking App, download. And then click on download and install. And then just open that. Okay, that's going to open up the App Store to download the app, and then we're going to download that onto our iPad. All right, so once that is done, click on open, and I'm going to allow notifications. So you should automatically input your Gmail and also the password. So you just click on login, and that is essentially will be connected to your GloriaFood website now, and click on OK, got it. And then click on next, and then it's going to automatically create a test order. So we just create next for it to generate a test order. Okay, perfect. Click into that, and then you can look at the order. Let's say you want to accept, then you can set in the delivery time. So let's just say 45 minutes, accept and confirm, and that is good to go, right? So here, let's click on back and click on the tab here. So if you want to connect it to your printer, click on thermal printer. So these are the printer that the app supports. So I personally use like a star printer, I think. and then you can click on next. So if it's a Bluetooth printer, you'll need to connect the Bluetooth with your smartphone or iPhone, and then you can click on the Bluetooth. Now I've basically connected mine to the Wi-Fi network, so I'll click on Wi-Fi, and once that is done, then that is pretty much it, right? So you can set that. Now I'm not at the restaurant, so I don't have a printer at home, but that is basically all you need to do. Okay, so once you've done with that, then here it should say it's connected. Then you can also connect it with another device if you need to, but I'm just going to click on next, and then click on next here. I'm going to show you how to edit the menu, so let's just close that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything first. All right, so let's just delete everything just like that. All right, so you can also click on show me and things like that, but I'm going to show you what you need to do. So for your theme picture, we want to change that. So for example, over here, okay, so let's just change that. You can click on change theme picture, and I have my better theme picture. So here you can upload and change the theme picture for the web ordering, and also web ordering for mobile phones, and also the order accepted screen. So for example, we just click on change and then click on browse, and I'm just going to set in maybe this one over here. Okay, so you can move it around like that. I think that's fine. Click on set image. And what I'm going to do is quickly go through all of these ones. So for the order accepted screen, what I generally do is I would change it to maybe something where the chef is preparing the dishes, like maybe they're cooking or something like that. So I'm going to set in this one over here. All right, so they've started cooking, and then I can click on set image. And then I'm just going to do the rest of these ones quickly. Okay, then once you're done, then we can click on next. And here you can see the image, right? So we're going to click on apply, and then we're going to start adding the categories. So add in the category. So let's just start with maybe entrees. Okay, and then click on save, and then let's add in our first dish. So for example, veggie spring rolls, and then here you just set in the price. So for example, 5, and then here you could write like 2 pieces, something like that, and then you can write your description. So you can click on save, right? So what's cool is you can click on the drop down here, the options, and you can also hide from menu. So sometimes you may run out of an item, then you can come in here and say hidden from menu. You can also hide until. So for example, like last weekend we ran out of lemon chicken, then for that specific day, I would hide it until the next day, right? So you can hide that until the next day. So you can also show only from. So let's just say, for example, you have specific lunch deals or lunch menu, then you can show between a specific time and set that in as well. All right, so I'm not going to set that in here. You can put vegetarian, and maybe let's just say like it's vegan, whatever it is. And then scroll down over here. You can also hide the special instructions input field if you need to, because this item, you can't change it. So there's no point having it there in case someone like adds a special request, right? So you can put that in there, and then that is good to go. Okay, so it saves automatically. All right, so let's just say you want to add an image. So you can click over here and browse library. And then I'm going to upload this one here. Click on open. And then that should be done. So you can actually adjust it to where you want it. You can also zoom in. So that's fine. And click on set image. All right, so that's how you add in a simple product. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to add in another item, but this one's going to be a little bit different. So add in item, right? So this one, let's just say it's fried wontons. Okay, and then the regular price is $7.50 for maybe 6 pieces like that. Okay, and this one does have multiple sizes, so you can click on multiple sizes, and the smallest size, which is going to be just like the regular, okay, the size price is going to be $7.50, and then we're going to select that. So that's going to be pre-selected if they don't select anything, and click on add size. This one's going to be large, or maybe let's just say 10 pieces or something like that. Right, and then this one size price is going to be, let's say $11, something like that, and then click on save. Right, so what's going to happen is I might just change the label. So just click on edit. I'm just going to label this one as 6 pieces. So it's going to be a lot clearer for the customer, right? So this one's going to be pre-selected, and they also have the option to select the 10-piece option, right? So we're going to add in an image, click on browse, and select the wontons, click on open. All right, so make sure that image is cropped nicely and click on set image. All right, so that is done. Now the next variation that I will show you is the choices and add-ons. Okay, so let's just say, for example, we got roti here, set in the price to be $5, click on save, and then here you can also add a group. So besides adding additional toppings, which if you click into it, then let's say if you have like a pizza shop and you have a pizza and you want to add like chicken, you want to add like cheese, ham, whatever it is, then you can just click into it, right? Edits, and let's just say like cheese, it's extra $1, and you can edit all of these. Just drag it in and drop it into here, all right, and link it to the product. All right, that's all you have to do. If you do have something different, so let's just say, for example, I want to add a group. So this one's going to be like maybe like something called dipping sauce or something. Okay, and here we can set here to be optional, right? Click on save. And then add choice. So this one might be like satay sauce, peanut sauce, something like that. And then $3. Click on save. I'm gonna add another one. So curry sauce, and then like $3, right? And then we can just click it, drag it, and then drop it on top of the item to link it up, right? Then we can click on add, choose the image and choose the picture, and that's gonna upload. All right, so arrange that nicely, set image. Okay, so that is essentially all you really need to know. It's really simple to set it up. I might just delete this image here because it's not mine. And then you can add in additional categories, right? So it might be like mains or something like that. Click on save, you know, and then add in your items, right? So just add in all your items, and once you've completed that, click on next. And then here, we're just gonna select no. Right, and then click on next. So the alert call is actually a really good feature. Basically, it will call you on your mobile phone or your restaurant's number if a customer is placing an order and have placed an order, but you haven't turned on your iPad or your phone, or maybe the internet connection is not working, then it's gonna call you up, right? So that's really cool. So put in your number over here and then click on next. And then here, if you want to take orders from Facebook, we can click on yes. And then basically all you need to do is log into your Facebook, and then it will add this button onto your Facebook page, which is really cool. So I'm not going to show you how to do that right now, but that is really simple to do. Okay, click on no, next. So this is the additional services they offer. We're going to select no because we already created our website. Click on next here. Okay, so this is asking you, do you want to take orders and table reservations through your website? So here we can click on yes. And what it's going to do is, let's say if you have like a webmaster who controls your website, you can put in their name and also email. It's going to send them these details here, and it's going to send them the HTML code to put that in, right? So I'm actually going to show you how to use it by adding a plugin onto our website, which is a lot better. So I'm going to click on I'll do this myself. Right, so this is basically the code that they'll tell you to paste into your website, but we're going to use the plugin. So let's just go back here, and then we can click on next. So here I'm just going to select no. It's a shared mobile app. Click on next. This one here is if you want them to create a branded mobile app. So for example, they're going to create an app which is just for your restaurant exclusively. So it's got your logo and everything like that. So this is a add-on service. So I'm going to select no for now. Click on next. And here, if you want to accept online payments, you can select yes, and you can link it up to your PayPal really easily. So you can also accept credit cards as well. So if we click on next, then here, generally what I suggest is connecting it with Stripe. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to create an account. So you can click on start now. And what you'll need to do is put in your email, your full name, and create an account with Stripe. And then basically what you'll need to do is you'll need to put in your business information and your information to verify your account. And once you've done that, then you can come back over and log into your Stripe account. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to select Stripe here. So for example, select that, click on next, right? You have to pay the $29 a month, and then you can subscribe, and then you'll need to paste in your API key from your Stripe account, right? So if you have any troubles with that, what you can do is actually contact the customer support. So they're really, really responsive. So you can click over here, and then you can start a new conversation if you need help, right? So generally that's really, really easy. For now, I'm not going to select that. So I'm going to click on back here and back over here and just select no, next. So for the fulfillment options, this is a new option that they released lately because of the current pandemic in the world. So you can select that. I'm just going to select default and click on next. And then here, we don't really need to do this right now. So we're just going to click on next here. And then here, okay, so it's going to ask you, do you want to offer a discount for first online order purchases? I recommend this. We're going to click on yes. What you want to do is you want to encourage your customers to order online. So you want to give them a discount, especially for the first order, and the next time they'll keep on ordering online from your website directly, right? So click on next over here. And here we can set in our first promo. So let's just say it's 10% off. Oops, first order. And then you can, let's just close this over here. So then you can put in any description here, maybe say like limited time only until, let's say, May 2021, whatever it is. All right, so we can click on change picture. So you can edit the picture here, click your own picture, browse library, and I might just use this one over here, maybe. Click on open, set image. Okay, that's all good. And then we can click on next. And then discount amount, so 10%, and then the order minimum amount, you can set that in. Click on save, and then our promotion is live. So we can click on next over here. Okay, so this is some of the add-on services which you don't really need yet. So we can click on over here. This is the reporting. So for your orders, you can click on the list view and click on orders over here, and all your orders will be listed over here, right? Which is good. And then you can click on over here. Here you can set up promotions and things like that. Click on down here. So here you can click on printing, and then you can set up your printing templates and things like that as well. And click on advanced settings. You can also set in these ones as well. For example, notifications, changing the language and things like that. You can also integrate with third-party apps as well for like delivery tracking, right? So you can also enable these, which I haven't looked into. So you might want to look into these. And then you can also click on Google Maps API and then click on add your API key. So what I suggest is watching this video over here. Okay, it's like a, I think 8-minute video to get your API key, to paste in your API key. So this is only mainly for if you're doing delivery, right? So what it's going to do, it's going to help you calculate the delivery fee and things like that more accurately when your customer is placing a delivery, all right? So to get your API key, you do need to sign up for the Google console, and then you need to put in your credit card details. And generally, if you don't hit the quota, then you won't need to pay anything, okay? So that is pretty much it for your setup on Gloriafood website. So what we need to do is head back to our website. So go to your website and we're going to log in again. So wp-admin, and then hit on enter, and then fill in your details, click on login. And then I'm going to close that, and we're going to head over to plugins and hover over here, click on add new. And here for the search plugins, we're going to add a new plugin. So this is going to be called Gloriafood, and then just hit on enter. All right, so it's this one over here by Gloriafood. Click on install, and then click on activate. And then once that is done, then you should see this on the left here. Click on dashboard. So here we need to log in. Okay, so since we have an account already, then go down here. I already have a restaurant account. So all we need to do is type in our password and log in. Okay, so I'm gonna close that, and we have already set up the profile as well as the menu, right? So what we're gonna do is just click on publish. And here we can add in the button by using a shortcode. So for example, if you want to customize the look of the button, you can click on customize. So let's say, for example, we might want to make the button a little bit smaller. Let's say, for example, 16 pixels, and maybe the padding to be 14, like that. And you can also change the color. So you can change the color later when I show you how to get the color palette. We can apply the border radius to 0 if you want to make it like a rectangle, okay, without the rounded edges, and then click on save. Alright, so same thing for the table reservation. So we want to make sure that everything is consistent. So let's change it to 16, 14, 0, click on save. Alright, now what you need to do is we need to click on copy, and that's going to copy the shortcode to our clipboard, and go to visit website, turn on your builder. And what we're going to do, if you want to add in 2 buttons, what I suggest is we're going to delete this one first. Then you need to drag in 2 columns and drop it below here. Alright, and then we need to find the text module. So drop it into there and click on the text tab up here. Paste that in. So that's the shortcode for the order. Okay, so we're going to click on done. And what I want to do is just click on save first and close it. Right, so that's the button. We do need to align it. So what I want to do is go back to my dashboard. So I'm going to open it in a new tab and just get the other shortcode. All right, so for the table reservations, click on publishing. All right, and click on copy, copy that, come back here, turn on the builder. And what we could do is we can actually duplicate this module, okay? Duplicate it, and then just put it in here, click it, click on text, and then paste in the other shortcode, right? So what we want to do is sort of align it to the right-hand side and this one to the left. So what you can do is click on, let's start off with the first one here. Click on the styling tab, click on font, and we want to align it to the right, just like that. I'm not sure if you can see it. Click on the other one, okay? Click on styling, font, align it to the left. All right, just like that. And then we can click on done and save and close. Right, and then we have the button. So right now, if you share this URL to your customers, then they can click on the button and they can actually order directly from your website, as well as taking bookings already. Right, so as you can see, I haven't added many items in yet, but hopefully you guys have added all your items, and then they can, you know, start ordering. Right, so that is pretty much it for most of this tutorial, like the main benefit and the main features that I want to show you. Now I do want to show you how to finish off and complete the website, right? Because I think it's really important that you do have a complete website, because the goal of your website is to ensure that when the customers come, they're like, okay, I want to eat here and I want to order from you. So you want to include a little bit more information, right? So I do want to show you how to ensure this one is also mobile friendly as well. So let's click on turn on builder first. Let's click on the mobile styling, and I want to make sure that on mobile these 2 buttons are centered. So I'm going to click into that and click in the styling, font, and select center. Okay, so this should only apply for the mobile devices. Click on the bottom one, styling, font, apply into the center. Same thing for the tablets. So the tablets is essentially because it's big enough, so then it can display like that. For the mobile, it's not big enough, so it stacks on top of each other. So let's give that a preview, see if the button actually shows up. Save it and close it. And I'm gonna just minimize the screen, okay, just like that. So that's what it looks like on mobile. So that is awesome. Now I also want to show you how to apply the the button on the top menu section on the top here, right? Because I'm pretty sure some of you guys want that. So I'm going to show you that right now. So click on the dashboard section. So let's hover over plugins and click on add new. And then here it's actually called short code in menu. Okay, and hit on enter. And I believe it is this one over here, shortcode in menus. Click on install. And then we want to activate. Then we want to go to appearance. Click on the menus. And then we want to click on screen options. All right, and click on shortcode. So once we have that, what we need to do is actually set in a new menu. So we're going to call this top nav and create a menu. And then what I want to do is click on shortcode. And then I'm going to paste in the shortcode. Okay, so this is the reservations one. I want to copy over the ordering one. So I'm going to copy that over, paste that in there, and then click on add to menu. And I'll also show you how to add in the row anchors and the menu items a little bit later on. But we're going to select main navigation for now. Click on save to menu. And then we can go back to visit our website. And then as you can see, it's going to appear on the top here, right? So that is awesome. And also on mobile screens, then you should have the button in the mobile menu like that. All right. So right now I'm going to show you how to build out the rest of the website, which is going to be amazing. So let's click on turn on the builder, and we're basically going to recreate this section over here. And it's really, really simple. So here I've got two columns, so one on the left and one on the right. So what we need to do is we can drag in the row. So we want two columns, so you can click it and just drag it below your hero image, right? And let it go. And then you've got two different columns. So on the left, we want to add in a text. So drop that in. And then here you can do maybe like our story or about us, okay? Something like that. And here you want to change it to heading 2, right? So you don't want to use heading 1 again, because heading 1, you should only have it one for each separate page, right? Because that's for search engine optimization purposes, which I have a SEO video on my channel as well, which you can check out later. So here we're just going to click on done, and we're not going to add any padding right now. I'll show you how to fix that in a second. Drop in another text module. And then here you want to put in some text, so a little bit about your business. So right now I'm just going to paste in some lorem ipsum text. So you can go to lipsum.com and generate the thing, okay, and copy over some of the text. So some dummy text that we're going to use right now. So you can come in here and edit the text later. I'm just going to try and format the text a little bit better, maybe something like that. Okay, so it's just a little bit more easy for people to read. Okay, and the next step is we want to click on done, and we want to add in an image. Okay, to the right, upload files, select files, and then here I'm going to upload this image here. Click on open. Right, so as you can see, this image is 2000 by 1000 pixels. It's probably a little bit too big for that section there. Now you can crop the image to, I'd say probably below 1000, maybe 800 pixels by 400 on photo.com, or you can actually click on edit image here, and that's going to take you to the image editor in WordPress. So I personally don't really like to use it this much. I normally just crop it on Photo or Photoshop, but we can change the size here. So let's change the dimension to 800 by 400. You can click on scale, and you can also sort of select it and crop it out as well. And then if you want to crop out a specific section, click on crop, okay, and then you can save. Okay, so I'm not going to crop any bit out, everything's fine like that. I'm just going to click on update. All right, so that should update the size here. Okay, so I'm going to click on update again, and I'm going to take the file URL because the file URL has changed. Okay, so let's just copy that to your clipboard, Control C or Command C, and then come back here. And what you want to do is click on insert file URL. All right, come back here and just delete that for now and paste in the URL that we have cropped, okay, because that's going to update with the new size that we have, and the size is only 38 kilobytes, which is tiny. That means your website's going to load quickly. All right, then the next step that you want to do is we can click on done, and what we could do is we want to make sure everything's spaced out evenly. So if we preview our page, you can see that's not good, right? No spacing in between there, no spacing there, and it's just really, really ugly. So what we need to do is we need to add some padding on the top. So if you hover over the purple, which is the row, we can just click it and drag it, right? So we could do, let's say 100 pixels like that. And for the bottom bit, okay, 100 pixels again, okay, keep it even as you can, like that. All right, now if we sort of zoom out of the screen, right, that looks pretty good, okay? Now the next step that you want to do is click back on the 100%, and then over here, hover over the row, and you can also align the content, okay? So as you can notice, the sort of the text and the image is not aligned in the middle. So hover over here and align it to the middle, just like that, okay? You can also hover over here, and you can also align to right to left, okay? So if you want to move things around, then you can easily do that as well. So click on back, and that's looking really good. So don't worry about the sort of the fonts and stuff like that yet. So you can go to styling and change the font. Don't worry about that yet, okay? So what we're going to do is focus in on the main structure of the website, and then I can show you how to change the colors and manipulate the fonts and things like that, okay? So we're going to create the next section, which is here, our hawker menu or your menu section. And what we could do is simply, let's click on done here, click on blocks. So there's 3 different tabs up here. Click on blocks, and here we can search for different blocks. That's going to help us build our template. So I want to show you guys this feature. So type in menu, and here you've got some simple menus, right? So I'm just going to use the menu grid 3, and then I'm going to click it, oops, and then drag it below that, and hopefully that's all good. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit to see if that's all good. Yep, that is looking good. Now what we could do is zoom back in and click on this, and this is heading 1, so we want to change it to heading 2. All right, now here we can add in a background image or a background color. So what we need to do on generally most websites, okay, so I'm going to show you this layout over here on the right. Okay, so this is the layout that I screenshotted. So generally on most websites, you'll see a hero image and then some white space, and then they separate the content with the background color and then white again, and then sometimes they separate the content with maybe like a video background or another image, and then a colored background and things like that, right? You don't want to have like a whole sort of white background with no sort of space separation or a line divider or a color separation, right? So what we're going to do is separate it with a color. Okay, now generally what I recommend is hovering over here, click on styling, and then click on background. All right, so for the color background, let's put in just like a light gray, so F6, F6, F6. So you can come in here and edit this later, or you could also use a dark gray if you wanted to, something like maybe 333. Okay, dark gray, that's also fine as well. All right, it does make your website a little bit more sort of expensive feeling, you could say. So what we need to do is I want to change the font color for the entire row, right? So for the row options, click on font, and I'm just going to change it to white. Okay, so that ensures that the text is readable. Okay, so then you click on done, and we can click on the item here. All right, and then here we can change the title. I'm actually going to find the image first, so I'm going to go and find my image, upload files, select files, and then I'm going to upload maybe all the images. So what you can do is you can click it and then click on command or control, and then select all the images that you want to upload, so that we don't have to keep on uploading them one by one. Okay, then I'm not going to upload that one. Click on open. Alright, so let's just select the satay skewer. If you want to crop it, I recommend photo.com, and then you can crop it to around this size. Okay, insert file. and then that should be done. Okay, so obviously I want to change the name, chicken satay skewers, like that. And then I can edit the pricing here. So let's just say $12, and then I can edit the description. You can also change the image appearance if you want to. So generally what I want to do is I want to delete the height, okay, because it's automatically going to crop it. Click on done, and then we can click on save. So I just want to view it right now. Scrolling down. Yep, that is good. The thing is, when you actually select the crop image, as you can see, it's cropped it and then it looks blurry. So that's why if we turn on the builder and we click into it, I just remove the height, so it only crops the width to 100 pixels in width. So I'll show you another one so you can then go out and do it yourself. So click into this one. I'm going to change the image first. And this one I'm going to do maybe this one. Nasi goreng, insert, and then change the name. Oops. Like that. And then you can also change the layout of how you sort of want to lay it out as well. But I'm just going to keep it simple for you guys and just keep it the same, okay? And then we can change the price. So for example, $16. And then delete the height. Click on done. All right, so that's basically it. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm just going to duplicate everything. And then I'm going to remove these ones. Let's duplicate it and put it into there. Okay, duplicate that one and delete that. Okay, and then duplicate that. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this up myself a little bit later on, so that's what you can do. If you do want to add in like a button, like let's say for example a download button where people can download your menu PDF, then I'll show you how to do that really quickly. All right, so what we're gonna do first is just click on save and close it. All right, then next step is go over here to your dashboard, and then we can go to media, add new. So click on select files and then select the sample PDF, okay, the one that I just saved in the Word document. So here, once we've done that, click on the PDF and we want to copy the link. All right, so just Control A or Command A, select all, and then Command C, so Control C, copy that to your clipboard, close it, and what we need to do is go back to our home page, so visit site, turn on builder. Okay, so scroll down over here, and we want to add a button. So to add a button, we can grab the button, and we want to drop it below, just here, okay, below the column, right, not in here, okay, like in here. All right, then what we could do is for the button text, just type in like download menu, and then put in your link, paste in your link, right? So you can also change the menu color over here, which I'll show you a little bit later on, how to style the button link, okay? So let's just keep it as black and align it to the center, and I'm gonna make it a downloadable, and also I might open in a new tab, okay? So click on done and save, close it. Okay, cool, that's gonna download to their computer, and that is awesome. Right, now the next step is we're gonna create this gallery section, which is really simple. All right, so what we're gonna do is we can get the text here and duplicate it, right? And let's zoom out so we can see the layout a lot easier. Let's just grab it, and actually we need to create a new row. So we're just gonna drop in a new row below that. Okay, and then we're gonna drop in the text module, put it in there, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to change the title to gallery. Click on done. And then what I'm going to do is look for the gallery module here, over here, and drop it in. All right, so we're going to upload files, select files, and I'm just going to upload some gallery images. Okay, so I've cropped these to under 800 pixels in width, as you can see, so the image is not too big. Add to gallery, and then you got your gallery, right? So here you can really just configure your gallery. I'm just going to delete the thumbnail height again because I don't want it to sort of crop the image, right? So it's only going to crop the width, and if I only crop the width, then the height's going to automatically crop by itself. So here I've got 3 columns, just like that, which will be fine. And I'm going to zoom back in a little bit. Okay, so there is some spacing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce that spacing down to maybe 0. Okay, 1. And then I want to add some spacing to the top, okay, of the row. Just like that, so about maybe 100. Okay, same thing for the bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually, I might add a little bit, so to make it look a little bit nicer, maybe 25. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out to have a look. Okay, so I think that is pretty good. I might reduce some of the spacing over here. It's just a little bit too much. So maybe 25 as well. Okay, 26, close enough. And that is looking great. Now the next section is this section over here where you can display your opening hours as well as the map, okay, if you want to add a map. So what we're going to do is, what we need to do is add in a new row. So you can click here as well. So this one's going to be 2 columns. So I accidentally pressed 1, but that's okay. You can hover over here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, and click on this. So now we got 2 rows. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add opening hours. So let's drop in a text module in here. Let's just do opening hours, change it to heading 2. All right, and then I'm going to drop in another text module below that. And I'm going to just copy over here the hours. And I'll show you how to add in these cool icons later. So just paste this in first, like that. Click on done. And then we've got the icon module here. Drop in the icon. And then here we can select the icon, sort of the style. Okay, so here I want to change it to a mobile. Okay, so let's see if we can search up a phone icon. Mobile, okay, like that, and I want to make it transparent. Okay, so for the icon label, then I'm going to put in a phone number, so like 9555. Okay, so you can put in your phone number like that, and then if you want to actually link it, so for example, if people on their mobile phone, they can actually just click it, and then that will take them to their call screen with the number in there. So you can do TEL colon, and then you can put the number in, so something like that. Okay, I'm going to delete that that dash there. Okay, so we're going to open in a same window, that's fine. Okay, and then we can also change the font color as well. If you want to change the font color, then what I suggest is going back here, styling, link, and let's just change it to the default sort of gray color. I think it should be 555. Okay, like that. And also the icon, I'm going to change the color of that as well, 555. Okay, and then click on done. Duplicate it. Next one is the email. So click the icon, change the icon. So this one we can type in mail on the search, select it. Label, we're going to put in, let's just say support@hogansure.com. And for the link, you can actually do mail to, like that. And then we can do support@hogansure.com. And essentially what's going to happen is it will, if people click on it, it's going to open the default mail browser on their computer, and it'll input the email on the send. Okay, so we're going to click on done for now, right? And what we can do is let's just add some padding to the top again. So let's do like 100 and maybe 100 for the bottom. Okay, so it's nice and even. So what we can do now is we can add in a text into here, and here could be like find us here. So it could be like a set it to heading 2, like that. So you could add a map here. You could also add in a address. So generally I just like to use a text module. Each sort of like a heading, I normally just keep it as its own text module. Here we can do like, I'm just going to copy the address here like that, paste it in, and then that's all good. And then what we could do is add in the map. All right, so you do actually need to set up the Google Search Console and add in your details to use the map. So what we're going to do is look for the map module somewhere over here and drop it below that. All right, so it does require the API key, which I'll show you at the end of the video. So here you can set in your address. So 123 Queen Street, and then it could be like Melbourne, 3000 Victoria, like that. You can also set it to zoom and things like that, which you can edit later. So we can click on, I might change the height actually to maybe 200. Okay, because I sort of want to make it a little bit smaller so it sort of is aligned with the text on the left, right? Otherwise, if I do like let's say 400, then it's just going to be so big and it's not going to be even on this side, right? So either you can add some more content on the left, or what I suggest is making it a little bit smaller like that, and then that will be good to go. Okay, so now the next step that I want to do is I want to sort of style it a little bit. I might just add in a background color first. So let's just okay, so what I've done here is I need to change it to 100 pixels, and then here I think there is another row, I'm not quite sure, so let's just zoom out a little bit so have a look. Okay, so I think there is like another row here or something like that. I'm just gonna move that back to 0. Okay, so I think that's better now. And what I want to do is click on the row styling, and for the background I'm just gonna set it as a light gray. Okay, like that. And then the next thing I want to do is click on font, align everything to the middle. Okay, so that looks better now. You can do it individually for each module, but I generally just like to sometimes just do it all together. If the content is in a row, then everything that you set for the row, it's going to move everything into the middle. Okay, so we're going to leave that as is for now. Now the next section is your contact form. Okay, so to get a contact form is we'll need to download a plugin, and that's in the description below. Alright, so download that plugin to your computer. We're going to click on save and close that. So the plugin that we're going to be downloading is buildercontact.zip, right? So it's the contact form plugin that we're going to add onto our website. So it's below this video in the description. Download that onto your computer, and it should be a .zip file. If it turns into a folder, then what you'll need to do is right click and compress it back into the zip file. Okay, so go back to your website, and once you're done here, let's go to dashboard, click on plugins, click on add new, and then we can, over here, we can click on upload plugins, choose file, and then we can select the builder contact.zip and install now. Activate the plugin. Okay, once that is activated, click on visit site, turn on your builder again, scroll down, and let's add in a contact form. So I'm going to duplicate here, and I'm going to add in a new row first of all, and then I'm going to drop in the text in here, click it, and let's just change it to contact us. Okay, click on done, and I'm going to drop in a contact form. Okay, so it should be down here, add-ons, and drop in your contact form, and then there you go. Right, so you can select from different styles as well, so depending on which one you want. What I've got here is, I think it's this one over here. Okay, so here you can send it to your email. So for example, if my email is creativeway10@gmail.com, then I'll put it in here, or you can just send it to your admin's email, which is the default sort of login email that you have. So I'm going to send it to my email here, and the contact form messages will be sent there, right? So here we're going to scroll down, and obviously you can play around with the different the labels here with the name. So for example, first name, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as is, and you can play around with the settings here, but it's not really necessary to do that. We're just going to click on the center for the button, okay, like that. And the next thing that I want to show you is click on done. I sort of want to make the contact form a little bit more, the width not as wide, okay, so it's a little bit too wide. So what you can do is hover over the row and select this one here. So it's got a column on the left, a bigger one in the middle, and one on the right, okay. So I'm just going to move the text and as well as the contact form into the middle, like that, so it just looks a little bit nicer, okay. And then I'm going to add some padding to that row, so about 100, and maybe add 100 to the bottom, like that. Okay, so let's have a look at our general layout. I haven't really done much color styling to it yet. I think that is pretty good. Okay, so the next step is how to sort of style it and edit everything. Okay, before we actually move forward and change the colors and fonts, if we click on the menu up here, it's going to scroll down to each of the different sections, and that's going to add to the customer experience when they're navigating your website. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you right now. So we've got no links up here. So turn off your builder first and save it, and then we need to navigate to our menu section. So you can either go to the dashboard and go to appearance and menus, or you can click straight here. All right, so appearance, menus. So here we want to add in a custom link. So generally, if you do add in like new and separate pages, your pages will be appearing here, and you can select it and add it to your menu. Okay, so click on custom link, and what we want to do is just copy over the URL. So copy that to your clipboard, paste it in. So we want to label it a section. So as you can see, if we click on our story, then as you can see, it's got a hash and then our story. So that is the link location, right? So for the link location, okay, we need to add it to the end of the URL. So we're going to do hash and then just our story. And for the link text or the link title, we're going to call it our story. All right, click on add to menu. Okay, so paste in your URL again, hash. The next section is going to be menu, right? So make sure you keep it all lowercase, and then your title. Okay, and then the next section I think is going to be the gallery section. So paste in that hash, gallery and gallery. So ensure that everything's spelt correctly, especially here. Add to menu, paste that in, hash. The next one is going to be, I think, the hours. Okay, lowercase again, add to menu, right? And then paste again, hash, and then this one's going to be contact, right? So it doesn't really matter what name you put in here. It just matters later on when I show you how to link it up. It has to be the same name. Okay, so paste in contact, and that is done. So if we save to menu now, And what I'm going to do is we go back and visit site. What you're going to notice is that the menu has been added. That's all good. But this button is appearing here. So we want to move it across over here. So what we need to do is rearrange it. So click it and drop it and set it to be after contact. Save. And refresh. And that should be moved, right? So that's really, really simple and really easy to do. So the next thing that I want to show you is how to actually create a drop-down menu. So in case you do want to create a drop-down menu, you can click it and you can indent it below whichever thing you want it to drop down from. Okay, so that's really, really simple. Let's just click on save again, and I'm gonna close this. So if we click it, it's not gonna link anywhere, right? So now we need to set in where we want it to link to and label it, right? So we can turn on the builder and we can start labeling it. So for example, here we want this to link to our story. So hover over the purple, the row, hover over the gear icon, row options, and here we're going to set in the row anchor. So we're going to label the name and it's going to be called our story. Okay, so make sure there's no hash there, right? And then it's automatically going to save. So on the right, you'll notice our story as the link location. Okay, next one. Okay, gear icon, row options, and this one's going to be menu. Okay, scroll down, next one, row options. This one is going to be gallery, all lowercase. It has to match up exactly, otherwise it's not going to work. So next one is going to be row options, is going to be hours. And last one is going to be contact. Okay, and once that is done, then we can save it and then we can test it. So close it. So before you test it, make sure that you've set it to just your domain.com, and let's try and click it. Our story, menu, gallery, your hours, and contact, right? So if it doesn't work, then it means that you have labeled it wrong and it's not connecting, right? So make sure everything's lowercase and everything like that, and just rewatch the video if you have any issues. Okay, so now what we're going to do is change the fonts and change the colors, and we're really going to, make our website look a lot better. So before we can choose a font, we need to understand the fonts. So there are basically two different typefaces. One is sans serif and one is serif. Now, the sans serif typeface, as you can see, the edges are plain and the strokes are even width, right? So this makes the feeling of something that's simple, clean, and modern. And most websites will use this typeface, right? So when you actually use the serif typeface, which is a little bit different, it has different curves and thick and thin strokes. This makes it look a little bit more traditional and elegant and a more handcrafted look. So depending on sort of the restaurant that you want to create, maybe the vibe, the feeling that you want to create or evoke in when your customers come to your restaurant or establishment, then you need to think about which typeface should you use. Okay, so maybe if you are a pizza shop, and maybe if you are creating your pizza dough from scratch and like all these things from scratch, maybe you might use the serif typeface, right? But maybe if you're something that's more modern and then you're attracting a younger audience, perhaps maybe like a 20-year-old audience, then you might stick with something that's more modern, right? So it really depends on what you want to go with, right? So here you can navigate to the fonts.google.com, and with our WordPress theme, we've got access to all the Google fonts. So there is a lot to choose from. So what you can do is go to this website, right? And then you can select the serif typeface like that. And then you can see which one is trending and which one is popular, and have a look at which one you want to choose, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean you can't change. Sometimes you have to play around with it. So don't be scared to choose a font and then come back and then maybe switch it up a little bit, because each font has a different personality and it's really about the feeling, right? So you want to test it out and see how it feels for your brand, and and then implement it, right? Here you can also select the sans serif one as well, and you can also select the most popular one, so you can see which one is the most popular ones that people actually use. So for example, what I've used here is the Oswald for the title, And for the body, I think it's like Mulai or something like that. So you can select it, this one over here, right? So what I might do is I might try something a little bit different for this. So let's just say, okay, let's just do something a little bit different. So let's go serif, and maybe let's try the Play Fair display. Okay, so Play Fair display, I've made the decision to use it for my headings. Okay, and then for the body font, I'm just going to stick with maybe a sans serif. Okay, so I'm not going to use serif again because that's going to make it too sort of too traditional almost. I want to still make it modern, but you know, have that traditional touch to it. Okay, so maybe I might use something like Poppins. Okay, so I'm just going to try it out. So I want to see what it actually looks like for myself as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to customize first. All right, and then we want to edit the heading fonts. So we want to go to heading here, heading 1. Okay, so if we actually try to choose the fonts, what you're going to notice is that I think it might not actually display because we have not set it yet. Okay, so Play Fair display appears. Okay, that's fine as well. So that makes it look like really nice and elegant as well, like almost like a something more fashionable. Okay, so that's really cool, I think, in my opinion. So heading 2. Then for heading 2, I would keep it the same, nice and consistent. So Play Fair display. Okay, wow, that looks really nice, I think. Okay, so then once we've done that, then you can also set it for heading 3 and heading 4 as well if you do have that on your website. Then what I would do is click on body, body font, and then let's try and change it to Poppins. Okay, so that one appears. Okay, so as you can see, that's a little bit too thin, so you want to change the font weight to normal. I think that's not too bad, I think. What I want to do is maybe minimize the size a little bit to 15. So by default, I believe it is 16. Maybe 14 might look okay as well. I think a little bit too small. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. So might stick with 15, something like that. And as you can see, the color of the font here, right? It's gray. So I think that is nice because in terms of the sort of hierarchy with the title and also the body fonts, but you can change the color here as well. But again, I don't suggest changing the color to something that is like full black. I think that makes it a little bit too much contrast. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to change this to, let's say, 333. Just something a little bit darker, so it makes it a little bit more designer feel. I think that's quite nice. Okay, so here we're going to click on publish, and then we are going to close. Right, so if you don't actually find the font that you want to choose, then go back to your dashboard area, and then go to Themify settings. And then you want to scroll down to, I think, the theme settings. Oh no, Google Fonts over here. And then you want to show all Google Fonts, right? Because by default, it's not going to show all the Google Fonts. So if you can't find the one that you want to select, then select here and save it. Okay, so let's go back to our website. And I think everything looks not too bad at the moment. So what I want to do is show you how to apply the colors on the website. So there are many ways of choosing the right colors for your website. For example, if you go to Google and type in color meanings, then you can read up on color meanings and find out what each color actually means. And then you can pick a color based on that logic, right? Or I think which is easier for beginners is to actually choose an image which they have used on your website. So for example, we've used this image here, then we're going to use the colors from this image and apply it onto our website so that everything is very consistent when you are scrolling down, right? So this is what a lot of top websites actually do as well. So you're not going to go wrong this way. But again, there are also some other ways because you've also got to take into account, okay, what's your competition using and you know, who you want to attract and things like that. But I think this is one of the easiest ways to get started. So select file and you can choose a nice image, right? So you can either choose the image that you use for your hero image or maybe something that that is maybe you can take a photo of your interior or something like that, or you really like, or you can take a logo and you can upload it and it's going to take colors from that logo. Then you can apply it onto your website, right? So you can extract it using different color modes as well. For example, here, okay. So what you could do is maybe I want something that is nice and colorful and bright and just energizing. Then maybe I can use this. Okay, so then we click on color wheel, and then you've got your color palette. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I apply it onto my website and walk you through it, because sometimes it just takes a lot of feeling to do it. So what we're going to do is turn on the builder, and then what we're going to do is just sort of maybe zoom out of the screen. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add a color background here. So I'm going to add maybe this yellow background. So let's color that, copy that, come over here. Okay, hover over here, styling, background, and just add in a color like that. Okay, so now what you can notice is that the text here, we probably need that to be white. So we can click that and go to styling here, font, align it into the middle, maybe change that to white. I still think that's okay, but I might need to add some text shadow onto that. So let's just try 1 pixel and maybe 1 pixel there, and just change that to black, and then drop the opacity down a tad to maybe something like that. Maybe I might add a little bit of blur, more blur to that. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. Okay, so we're going to click into the contact form as well. So we want to make it blend into the background. So click on styling and general tab, click on the, I think the input fields, I think. So for the background, we're going to select maybe white, and then drop the opacity down like that to 0. Okay, so it's like transparent. And for the font, I'm going to change it to maybe, let's see if we can change it to white. Okay, so that's the input field. So when people actually type in, it's going to be white. So let's go back to the field labels, change that to white as well. Okay, click on here, and then click on maybe the field labels, input fields. I think we need to change the border. Okay, to 1 pixel, change it to white as well. And maybe we might want to change it to just a little bit more transparent like that. Okay, more subtle. Okay, 50% opacity. I think that looks not too bad. And then we can also change the button color. So what color should you change the button to? So we can click on the send button. We can take the color from our color palette, right? So what we could do is take maybe this orange and try it out. So some things are, you have to try it out so that you can actually get it right. Okay, so I think that's not too bad, that orange. And you also want to select a hover color. Generally, to select a hover color, I just go to 02255.com. Okay, and then I paste in the color code over here, click on next, and then I choose either a lighter shade or a darker shade. So in this case, I might go with a lighter shade. And that means when people hover over that, it'll go lighter, and it'll give the feeling of a button, right? Just like that. Okay, so we're gonna click on done, and I think that's not too bad. Now the next section that I want to edit is maybe this button over here, and I want to do the same style because you want to keep everything consistent. So click on button link, background color. I'm gonna paste in the hover color here. The normal color was here, so let's go back here and copy that. And I'm just going really quickly because I know a lot of people they feel bored, so maybe you can just watch this part because you can see, and then you can sort of edit and play around with yourself. So let's go over here and then click on that. Now what I want to do is I want to change this. So I want to add a background video because I want to add a little bit more depth to my design. Right now it's very, very simple, and you can keep it that way, or you can go and find a YouTube video, which I'm going to do right now. All right, so I found my YouTube video. So generally, if you have a video that you want to upload as a video background, then you should upload your video to YouTube, and that's basically going to load on the YouTube servers, which is going to be a lot faster. So here, click on styling, background, change it to video, and paste that in, and then you should have your video background like that. Right, so now we can't see the text. So we want to make sure that the text is viewable by clicking on font and let's change the color to white. Okay, and then we also want to make sure that the icon color is also white as well. So for the links is set to white, and the icon is also set to white, like that. And then click on that again. Same thing for the font, actually not the font, the link. Okay, change that to white. And then the icon, change that to white as well, just like that. Okay, so if you want to make the text pop, we need to add a row overlay. So go to styling again, row overlay. What we're going to do is just going to add a black overlay and then drop the opacity down to maybe like 20% or 30%, so we can see the text a bit better. Okay, so that's how you do it. And what else we're going to add is we're going to add a little divider line. Okay, so as you can see on this website, we've added a nice little divider line here, which looks nice. So we're going to do that. So go over here and we can find the divider and just drop it below where you want to add it. So for the thickness, we're going to set it to 2. And for the color, what I suggest is taking a color from your color palette again. So what I'm going to do is maybe just change it to this light yellow, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, let's paste it in. Okay, I think that's not too bad. What I do want to do is click on custom, okay, because I don't want it to stretch all that way. Then what we could do is just duplicate it, okay, and then click on it. Oops, click on it and drag it and put it below here. Okay, so that is not in the center, so we need to click on edit, align into the center. Let's move the padding up. Let's zoom in a little tad. Okay, so let's do 0. What we do need to do is we do need to add some spacing still, so try that. Okay, that's not too bad. And then what we could do is just duplicate this again, drag it, wiggle it down, and put it over here. And let's reduce that spacing over there, and let's increase the padding for that image gallery module, like that. And then what we could do is, what I want to add is add some more depth to the menu section by adding a pattern, something like this, right? So right now, if you want to find some patterns, you can go to Google and type in patterns for website and go to the first result. I think it's called toptal.com. Click into it, and that's going to give you some nice patterns which you can use for your website. So depending on what style that you want, perhaps if you're like an Asian restaurant, you might do like Oriental and search that up, or you can just browse the library section here and choose one for your website. So there are quite a lot of nice patterns that you can choose from. You can browse all these pages, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick one. So maybe, I think either this one or that one, maybe this one over here. Click on download and just download that onto your computer. Okay, and then what you'll need to do is just double click it. Okay, if you're using Mac, if you're using Windows, then you'll need to like unzip it, right? And then you've got the pattern in there. Okay, so we can upload that to our website. So let's go to here and go to the row options and styling, click on background, add a background and upload files, select files, and then click it and then upload it here. Insert file URL. Okay, so that's not too bad, but we can't see the text now. So what we can do is we can set it to a fixed background, so it's almost like a parallax background feel. All right, and then row overlay, we're going to select a black. Okay, then we're going to drop the opacity down a little bit, maybe something like that, to 80%. And then you've got a nice pattern overlay, right? Because the pattern is sort of green, so you can see some of that green through there, which I think is not too bad, because we do have some green with the coriander and also the leaf there and things like that, and it also blends in with the theme, so the Asian vibe as well. So you can click on done, save it, and let's just zoom out. Okay, so that's not too bad. You can find something that's a little bit better, hopefully, but it does add some nice depth to our website. So let's click on save and let's close it. Okay, so maybe the last thing that I want to do is edit the color for the button here. So we're using the same color from our color palette. So I do want to add some spacing over here. It's just a little bit too close. 25. Okay, so that's looking great. Now let's go back to our dashboard and then go and click on publishing. And let's take our color palette color and input it here. Okay, so the color that we've used for the button is this one. So I'm gonna just apply this one here. So just because you have 5 different colors doesn't necessarily mean you have to use it on your website. Sometimes you just add it into like different sections. You don't just like a little bit. You don't really need to use it that much. So maybe that's a little bit too light, I'd say. Unless you change the text color to maybe darker. Okay, so that doesn't look really good. So what I'm gonna do is, because we can't really see that properly, so I'm gonna use maybe like a darker color, perhaps that one. And then we're gonna paste that in. Okay, so that looks a lot better. I do also want to make the text a little bit, maybe 14, a little bit smaller. Padding doesn't need to be that big. Click on save. Customize, and then here I also want to change the color as well. Change that for 14 first to 12, and the color I'm going to use maybe, okay, so we don't have a color, maybe a red one. I don't know how a red one will actually look. Let's try and click on extract theme. See if we can move that to maybe green. Okay, maybe something like that. So we're going to use the same color that we find on our image. Maybe something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this green, copy it, and then I'm going to paste it into here. And then we're going to click on save. And hopefully that is saved. And if we go and visit our website, okay, so that doesn't look too bad, right? Because we're taking the same color from the image and implementing it on our design, right? We're not introducing like a completely new color, like a pink or something like that. And that just makes your website look very, very inconsistent. So as you can see, our website is not too bad, just with some quick editing of color. Obviously, it's not perfect. You do need to sometimes play around with it. If you don't know which color to use, then you can use like a neutral color, like a gray or a dark gray, light gray, something like that, which is fine as well. So if you want to display your Google Maps on your website, then we need to add in an API key, right? So we need to get that API key from Google itself. So we need to go back to our dashboard section over here, and I'll show you where you can paste in your API once you have it. So Themify Ultra, Themify Settings. Then you'll need to scroll down to Integration API, Google Map API Settings, and paste in the API code over here, right? So you can click on Generate API Key and it'll give you instructions, or I'll just show you how to do it right now. So you can go to Google, type in Google Cloud Console, and click on the first result. And you'll need to log in with your Gmail account. So if you don't have one, make sure you create one. All right, so select your country, and I'm gonna agree, and continue. So sometimes the interface might be a little bit different. So I'll try and walk you guys through what you do need to set up. Generally, if it's your first time over here, then you can claim your free trial, which has $300 worth of credits. And I think every single month they give you $200 worth of credit anyway. So generally, for my local website, it never goes over, so I don't have to pay anything. So generally, you don't have to worry about it. I think it's just for people abusing it. So I'm going to click on Activate. And then here, you can select your country again. Okay. And I'm going to continue. And here, I'm just going to fill in my business information and also my payment information. So I'm going to pause the video and do that. So do that as well. All right. So once you're done, click on Start My Free Trial. Click on Got It. All right, so what we need to do is we need to set up the API. So I think we hover over here, API and services, and then we can click on credentials. and we need to create a credential. All right, so generally it should show your first project. So if you click over here, if it doesn't show, then you'll need to create a new project. So just name it like your business name or your website name, it doesn't really matter. And once that is selected, then we can click on create and then click on API key, and that's going to create your API key. So you're going to copy that key, right? And we're also going to restrict the key to our website domain, so no one else can take the key and use it. So what we need to do is we can just click on this, right? Add item, and what we can do is just copy over this URL first. Don't worry about the API that we just copied, just paste in your URL first and click on done. Okay, so what else am I going to do is I'm just going to paste that in and actually just delete that and delete that like that as well. All right, and then click on done. Okay, so just leave them both. And once I'm done here, then I'm just going to click on save, click on got it. Okay, so we've got the API key. We can copy that over and go back here and paste that in and then click on save. But I don't think it's actually going to work now. We have to enable the actual map API thing. So I think we can go to library. And what we need to do is we need to go to maps JavaScript API. So we need to enable some of the services before we can actually turn it on. So click into that one, enable it. And I'm also going to enable a few others, which I believe you need as well. So that is enabled. I'm going to go back. And then I'm going to enable the geocoding API. Okay, enable that one. Click on back. And I'm also going to enable maybe the places as well. Enable. Click on back again. And I'm going to enable the maps embed. Okay, so I set this up a long time ago, so I sort of forgot, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do that anyway. So once that is enabled, then we can go back over here and visit our website. And hopefully the map is going to show. All right, so what we're going to do is let's turn on the builder and we're going to set in the address. Okay, so set in the address over here, right? I don't think it's going to load up instantly. It's going to take maybe 5 to 10 minutes to actually load up with the new address that you put in here. I think it does take some time for that to take effect. Okay, so we're just going to scroll down. Okay, so I think it's working right at the moment. So let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so yep, that's all working. So that's how you put in a map. Sorry that took a while, but yeah, that's required anyway. So if you want to get a logo, what you can do is you can go to fiverr.com and just type in like logo. Okay, so you can get logos for $5. I just personally think it's much better to get a professional to do your logo for you. And you can also request a fav icon. So a fav icon is essentially the little icon here. So you can see the little W, the little FI green thing, and my one is like a HC. Okay, so tell them to send you like a fav icon, and then they'll send one to you, which should be like a PNG file. So to upload your fav icon, we can go to dashboard here and then go to themify settings. And then you can click on the general tab, fav icon, upload. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click into here and upload the fav icon, open, save it. Okay, hopefully that's good. Visit website. And then that should be updated, right? So for your logo, then you'll need to click on customize. And then here we can go to site logo and tagline, site logo. So here you can upload your logo image, right? And it should be a PNG file, and that is it. So for your site tagline, you might want to change this because it does appear on the top site title. So for example, let's just say this one is like a Malaysian restaurant in Melbourne. Okay, something like that. Click on publish. and close it. And essentially that's going to change the site title, which will sort of appear in the search engines as well. All right, so if you do get a message, for example, something like this, Themify Ultra, the update is now available. So you have a few options. The first option is that you can just download it from my website. So go to hoganchua.com/update, right? And then what you can do is download the latest theme, right? So Themify Ultra. And I do have another tutorial like covering e-commerce, so I have another theme as well. Click on it, and that's going to download the new version to your computer. All right, and then you can go back over here, dashboard, and then you can go to the appearance and themes. And then what you can do is like activate another theme first, okay, because we do need to download and delete this one. All right, so we need to click into that, delete the old one, okay. All right, so right now your site's going to be, it's not going to be showing, right? It's not going to be showing properly. So what we do need to do is we need to click on Add New, upload the theme, choose File, and then let's go back to our desktop and upload that one, install, and then click on Activate. Now that has activated to the latest theme. Okay, so we can click on Visit Website and everything should be back to normal. Okay, so that is awesome. So if you do want to back up your website, you can click on the link here and watch the video. So if you do want to get automatic updates, which come with license key and also support, then you can also check out the Themify membership, right? So you can also use the code Hogan for 30% off, right? If you have any issues, you can also email me at support@hoganchua.com. So this is actually a premium theme, but I've partnered up with Themify to share it with you guys for free. This is essentially the theme that I use for my own website. So that's why I wanted to create a tutorial around something that I personally use and that I really think is going to benefit you, because some of the other free themes, it's not as good, right? Because you don't have as many features and you can't do a lot of things. And if you do want to do something, you need to download like another plugin and then you need to upgrade and stuff like that. So it's not really good. All right, so once you're done with your website, then make sure over here on the right, top right, you can click on log out, and that's going to log you out of the website. And now you are basically a new visitor to your website, right? So congratulations. I'm really happy about this tutorial. So hopefully you guys found a lot of value in this video, and share it with your friends, maybe help other people to create a website for their own local business, because I think it's super important to have your own sort of platform where people can order from you and then you don't have to pay a commission, right? It's going to save you a ton of money and a ton of time. So thank you.